Hey, everybody. My name is Nate Simmons. I'm on the board for the Nebraska Schools Esports Association, uh, bringing you another Twitch Talk Thursday. This is our pre-state edition, so we're pretty excited to have you with us here tonight. And with us tonight is Coach Hinds from Concordia University. How's it going, Coach?
It's going good. My team just won our first playoffs match for Overwatch, and we had to do it in a reverse sweep. So I'm a little shot with my voice, but it's good to be here.
Nice. So congrats on that. That's awesome. So first round of playoffs. How many rounds do you got?
So yeah, that was so we just start out with quarterfinals. So we'll be moving on to semis next week, and then after that will be finals.
Awesome. All online?
Yep, everything's
Okay.
online at least for
Okay.
right now. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, give us the the short version of yourself, your coaching journey. Um, I know that you were a coach at the high school level before, but give us a little background of yourself before we dig into some big questions.
yeah, no, exactly. Back in 2017, my wife recommended to me that we start up an esports club in Elm Creek, Nebraska, out west of Kearney, and we did. And after that, slowly we reached out to other schools to try to get competitions going, and then next thing you know, suddenly we have the Nebraska Schools Esports Association. So I coached I was my on the side job while I was out there at Elm Creek. And then after I did that for 3 years, I kind of said to myself, well, I'd really like to do it more seriously at the collegiate level and try to assist the best I can with what's going on in the high schools across the state. So back in 2020, I applied for the job here at Concordia, and uh, they liked my resume. So here I am, and I've been here for the last 3 years.
Nice, nice. All right, so tell us a little bit about your team. Um, what kind of games you guys play? Just give us an overview of your program there.
Yeah, so as I said, they hired me on in 2020, so that's when our program officially launched. We play Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League, Smash Bros, and Valorant. And yeah, so far in all those titles, we've got around 20 students who are totally involved in our program, and that's we compete with the National Esports Collegiate Conference, the NECC, and are also looking to kind of expand and get some more local competition as well.
Nice. So what would you say your most popular game is with your team?
Right now, it's probably in between both Valorant and Overwatch. I would say for our most popular ones, those are the ones we got the most players for. But
Yeah.
Rocket League obviously is pretty popular as well. Smaller size of students needed for that, but yeah, Overwatch and Valorant have the largest rosters right now.
Nice. Uh, Tell us a little bit about what your practices look like.
Yeah, so we have our own little facility that we practice in. That's just for the esports program. So in the facility, we've got uh, several different machines that they play on. So we practice every day from 3:30 to 6, and different teams will come in kind of on different days where they have priorities. So such as today, it was Overwatch because they had a match this evening, and then tomorrow it'll be Rocket League because they've got their first playoff match as well. So that's how things roll. And then beyond that, if we have competitions on different days, then the teams will play on those. And then we have scrim days, VOD review days, a whole slew of a schedule.
So it just depends on what's kind of on the docket as far as like if you just had a match, you'll do a VOD review. So there, I'm guessing there's going to be a VOD review of this last Overwatch match coming
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah. When you have to do a reverse sweep best of five, yeah, there's going to be a pretty good VOD review of how we dropped the first two maps on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the VOD review for this will probably happen next Monday or so. Kind of give it a day to cool off and let everybody just sort of regroup, and then we'll come back and take a look at things on Monday or Tuesday before we do usually a scrim day on what'll be Tuesday or Wednesday against another school that's in the area. Using Morningside is kind of who we've kind of defaulted to actually for our
Okay.
scrims. So yeah, that's what the schedule for Overwatch will look like this upcoming week.
Yeah. And I think it's important for our viewers to note too that it's, Morningside's in Iowa. So you're not just
Yeah.
competing against other colleges in Nebraska, it's all over the place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The best example of that right now is our Valorant team. We got placed in the Pacific Coast Division. So there's a two
Because why
hour
not?
time difference. Yeah, because why not? Us in UNK, by the way. So it's like two Nebraska schools, and then everybody else is either like British Columbia or Washington, California. So we played Sacramento State just earlier on Monday this week in Valorant. That was our first quarterfinal game. So we've moved on to semis there. And
Nice.
we play schools all across the country, and anything from Division One, and NCAA to NAIA schools. So it's actually a really broad amount of competition that we go up against.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How does somebody get on your team? I got a senior in high school or even maybe a junior is interested in pursuing something esports related after they graduate. What does that process look like for them?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking at Concordia, then what you do is you go to our website. You can apply there, and even if you're not like you're just kind of thinking about it and you're not 100% sure, you can find my information on the website under our esports page. So you can reach out to my email directly, and then from there, I'll either chat with you over email, try to get on a Discord call with the student and their family if their family is wanting to learn more as well about it, and really try to give as much information as I can about our program and about esports as a whole when it comes to what that looks like in a collegiate program. But best way is to literally is just to reach out, even just finding me at any of the events that are hosted that I'm able to be at. So for example, we're hosting state. So it's kind of if you find me at state, just tap me on the shoulder and start a conversation.
Is So if you're really interested in a player, then is one of the steps, and because I'm not familiar with this either, do they do you have them play a match or something, like if they're a big League of Legends player? Do you have them sit in with the team and see how they do, and they're what kind of things do you look for in a player when you're picking them for your team? And I guess that's not
Yeah.
just a high school related question. That's
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get where you're going with it. So yeah, if I'm looking at a player exactly for League of Legends or for Overwatch, kind of the first couple of questions I usually have is like, what position do you play, to find out how they'll fit on my roster as a whole. Do they play with a team? That's kind of a big one because solo queue mindset versus more of the team mindset is actually a pretty big deal. And then on top of that, it'll be a little bit of hey, what rank are you, just to get an idea of what their skill levels at. And then after that, yeah, I let them talk with the team as well as our team captain, to get an idea, just get to know them a little better, have an idea of how they'd fit in on our squad as a whole. And then yeah, if we're able to, we try to get them in on some fun scrims or any other activities that we're doing throughout the year.
okay, cool. Um, what kind of scholarships do you guys offer?
Yeah, so the scholarshiping that we have is, I mean, it's performance scholarship, I guess is what it's called from here. So you apply to the university, and after you get applied and everything, then I take a look at the knowledge I have of you already, based on like conversations we've had and what you will bring to the team, and from there we determine a scholarship. And I say that my current average is around 5,000 that I hand out, but I've done more than that on different occasions. So
Okay.
it's really quite flexible, and it kind of just depends on the person too.
Okay. And are you just looking primarily for gamers, or are you also looking at maybe the social media aspect side of it or the casting side of it? Is that something that uh, I'm sure it's valuable to your program, but is it something that you're always looking for also?
Yes, absolutely. Because I don't want to blow out my voice every single time my team has a reverse sweep in Overwatch. So I'd maybe prefer that somebody else blow out their voice so that I can keep mine. Yeah, I also have scholarshiping opportunities, the same value scholarshiping opportunities for casters, content creation, and stuff. So that would be students who maybe just love the game but don't have the competitive drive, just kind of like I really don't like playing ranked, but I just love the game and I know a lot about it. Those are the kind of students that I'm looking for to kind of help fill those positions, which I have a lot open. The only thing, yeah, I think I've got one guy to cast Rocket League, but everything else I'm doing myself. So I really, yeah, that's a high value for us right now.
Yeah.
that I'd love to try to find some players for.
Yeah. Um, one of our questions from chat is, do you have coaches for specific games? Or like right now, maybe you're it. Like most of the high school
Yeah.
coaches, you're it. We don't have a coach for Rocket League, a coach for Valorant, a coach for League of Legends.
Yeah, no, right now I'm it for all teams. We do and are currently looking into, because my Overwatch team, which is doing really well, has gotten kind of to a point where I am no longer enough. Like I'm able to coach them continuously, but there's just things that I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a grandmaster player in Overwatch. Like I don't know anything beyond that. So we are trying to look for options to try and get some outside coaching to help get our teams just pushed to the next level.
Yeah.
And Overwatch currently is try. We're gonna start going through that. We've been sort of testing it out and seeing who we can find out there to assist us a little bit.
Yeah. So, one of the big conversations that we've had over the course of the year with different coaches is the change in Overwatch from a 6 player to a 5 player format. Has that been a, I mean, it's not been a challenge for you because obviously something's working out right for you this
Yeah,
year, but was that a tough move for your kids?
that was a rough move. So this spring we're doing really well. We had most of our players in Overwatch 1 to 2 started out around the gold plat, had 2 players that had hit diamond once before, but that was before Overwatch 2. We hit Overwatch 2, everybody hits about the same thing. And it was really rough to adapt to it. We had a lot of tank players first off that suddenly had nothing else to do but find a new role. So we adapted to it the best we could, and have now ended up that we have 3 players who have hit masters. One of them who actually, no, wait, 2 players who hit masters, one who hit GM here just a while back. And
Impressive.
then, and then everybody else is playing in the plat to diamond level. So, yeah, we kind of went from a squad that was a little bit headless and trying to run around, like figure out this Overwatch 2 deal, to now when we started the year plat diamond. Now we've got plat diamond master and even a grandmaster. So we're I'd say that we've adapted
Yeah.
nicely, but it was a struggle to get where we are.
Yeah. Are they missing the loot boxes? Because those are gone, right? The free.
Nobody misses loot boxes. Okay, nobody misses that. Everybody does think the economy is a little screwy with how much they're selling some of these skins for, but
Yeah.
we move on from that.
Yeah. Well, I know I have some players on my Valorant team that have dropped $50 for a knife skin. So I'm not sure
Yeah,
what that's about because it doesn't make, I guess skins for wins is what they say. So
it's true, and the knife skins in Valorant are very nice.
yeah,
So, I
$50
fifty
nice. I don't
dollars
know.
nice. I don't agree with that, but they are very nice. So,
Yeah. Um, are there any games that you would see? This is another question from the chat. Are there any games you'd like to see played competitively in the future? Things coming up that maybe new games out.
yeah, Kinsey, can you go over there? Sorry,
That's all right.
I've got my little gamer girl who now is like, "Hey, Dad's talking on the mic. I need to
Nice
come over there."
team mascot.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Bye. Yes. So games that I would like to see. Um, on the collegiate level, I actually feel like we are missing uh, a uh, a real time strategy game.
Okay.
And so, like, with part of the reason, as when the Nebraska Schools program started, that we kind of vouched really hard for StarCraft, was because we felt like we were missing that genre. And I do feel like that genre is missing collegiately. There's not really a great game that would hop out besides StarCraft to fill the void. But I actually, whenever I've talked with some players from Nebraska, even that play StarCraft, and trying to convince them to come here, that would get me to finally get a team started and to have that. So that's one that I wish we had more of.
Yeah.
Um, another one that I want to get started here that has gained a lot of traction is like iRacing.
Okay.
And that's one that I would be really excited to get like a setup for and actually have. There's a lot of places to compete for it, so it's actually
Really.
already a fairly established scene. I just would love to kind of have that as an added program that we have here, but
Yeah.
that costs a little bit more to try to get up and running, but is awesome, and I think is actually kind of a fun scene that I'd like to see grow
Yeah.
more.
I've seen some of those setups and they're pretty, some of
They
those are
are,
pretty elaborate.
yeah,
It's just like driving a real car.
yeah,
It's
it
crazy.
is, and even the base setups are like 5-7 grand, and that's like you get a steering wheel and a shifter, and that's it.
It's a really good steering wheel and shifter, kind
Yeah,
of
it is
like
a
the
really
fifty
good
dollar
steering wheel
knife
and
skin.
shifter. Yeah, and a seat with everything else. But yeah, it's like, oh gosh, I'd love it. It'd be cool. But
Um, what about chess? We see a lot of state organizations at the high school level. Everybody's got chess added.
oh
Is that even at the is that even a thing at the collegiate level or
yeah, no, it's not currently. Uh, I know that there's different it's kind of the same thing with like iRacing or
yeah,
with StarCraft. You could probably find a competitive scene for it, but none of the big, I guess, the big name orgs are running it.
yeah,
As far as like the NECC or NACE or who have you, but I'm sure that a lot of those more, I won't really call them niche because they are quite popular. A lot of those games might start to gain more traction, especially if the high school side is starting to kind of like flood us with people that's like, hey, I play really good chess. Like, oh, well, then let's find
okay.
somewhere to compete. And it's not like you can't find places to compete. A lot of the times they're just a little bit more like, yeah, you're not, it's not like school to school competition, like what I kind of enjoy more, where I get to know, hey, just today we played, UNA Purple, I know they're University of, oh, and of course I don't remember, but either way, like we played Sacramento State, on Monday, or
Yeah,
we play UNK. It's like you get to actually kind of have that rivalry that you have an opportunity for. So that's where some of those games that are starting to come up will start to get there, where
yeah,
programs like myself go, hey, yeah, let's add that so we can play York University, who also has, a StarCraft player. So we know that there's going to be some more like in-state rivalries we can
yeah.
form.
What would you say your most popular game is there for your team?
I think right now Overwatch is our most popular. Valorant is a very quick one that's up and coming. It probably will overtake Overwatch. I would say maybe the next year and a half,
Yeah,
for sure. But right now, Overwatch is kind of the most popular just because Overwatch 2 released, and people are sort of refinding an enjoyment for that game.
yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about state coming up here next weekend. Not this coming weekend, the next weekend, the 28th and 29th. You guys are hosting our state championship for the spring there. Um, what are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm really hoping that more schools have like a student like cheering section, like what I think it was. Oh, not it was. Oh, doggone it! What school? School had an entire all their seniors came to cheer on their esports team, and they brought banners and all sorts of other things to like cheer and like hold up while they were
Yeah,
sitting there hanging out. So Platteview was who did
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's what I was saying. I think it was Platteview a couple years ago.
So yeah, no, that was awesome. I thought that was like the highlight of the last year's event. But it is just a lot of fun to watch the competitions even happen.
Yeah,
Like I think the last 2 years, the last game, because it was Overwatch last year and the year before as well. The last games were like two all the way to the best of five, all the
yeah,
way like the last second fight that had to happen for the other team to win, and it was just crazy.
yeah,
So I think that is what I'm looking forward to is
yeah.
those moments.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having League of Legends back and
Oh
watching
yeah.
some of those fights. Those are some of the good fights that I miss, those team battles in that game. So that's what I'm looking forward to for state for sure. And obviously you're going to probably use some of that as hopefully some good recruiting time
Yeah.
also, right?
Oh, absolutely. I really do enjoy just like chatting with the students as they're there and trying to interact with coaches who also I haven't met yet, or, new teams that are showing up to state, just trying to get to know more of the Nebraska esports community as a whole. And yeah, that definitely goes towards my recruitment. And I enjoy seeing how the scene has grown here in the past, oh boy, like 7 years now,
Yeah,
6 years. Yeah, geez,
it's insane.
that doesn't feel right to say that,
No,
but that it's enjoyable to see how far it's come.
yeah, no, it just means we're getting older. That's what that means.
Okay, I did hit 30 this year, so
Oh my,
yeah.
you're ancient. You're ancient.
Officially
Um,
a boomer.
yeah. So we counted up before we came online. We're going to have over 38 different schools represented next week, which is just
That's
amazing.
awesome.
I mean, you talk about that growth
Oh yeah.
over 6 or 7 years. Starting off with three or four trying to organize play, and now almost up to 80 schools, and 35 of them are coming to state. It's just amazing the growth in our state, and it's not slowing down.
No, I really, that was something that I always thought about, was like, I wonder how many schools like will be represented at state as we get bigger and bigger. Cause it
Yeah,
used to be like, oh yeah, Grand Island Northwest brought like Rocket League and whatever, the Smash team. So they had like three things there. But now it's kind of rare for a school to show up with multiple sports. So that's kind of fun to see, that the competition has gotten a lot better, and that more schools that have joined have kind of like hopped in and have kind of their
yeah,
special niche in their programs.
yeah. Um, Also, some of our sponsors are going to end up being there with us. Obviously, your school sponsors us there. York University is going to have someone there on site. Nebraska Army National Guard, Prairie STEM, Midwest Dairy is a new one that's going to be there. So that'll be interesting to see what they have to say to some gamers. Um, Looks like we got one more question. How is your esports room set up? Are we going to be close to your esports room when we come to state, or is that in a different building? Or
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not. We don't have the room in our facility to host. Well, I mean, first off, 35 schools and probably over 100 participants each day. So we do have another big conference room here on campus, in a different building that we're going to be hosting in.
yeah,
So I think at some point, if I get more room added, or I guess take over more of the building that I'm in currently, that there is the possibility of hosting it in our own facility.
yeah,
But for right now, we have to host in a conference room. But
gotcha.
we still set it up to be kind of a cool setup. We got a different little setup we're going to try this year.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I think someone wants to know about it. That's what he's putting in chat here. Is there going to be a stage similar to
Oh,
Hastings in York?
so no stage, unfortunately, but we do kind of have like a front part of our room where there's going to be a projector down, and then both competitive teams will be on either side of that projector playing. And then we have a second projector with a second set of tables that they'll be off to the side just because there's not enough room to spread them
Yeah,
all out up front. But we do have like a double projector setup that will play both games that are going to be going on, and then one of those setups will kind of be the more forefront one for like your
yeah,
championship games and everything, there at the very front. Same thing with Smash. It'll be kind of that front with all the seating that we have. So it'll be different than how we've done it in the previous years, where we kind of had all the games off to one side.
yeah,
It's going to be a little bit more spread out this year.
yeah. Which is kind of nice. I mean, it gets
Yeah.
people moving around. It's you don't have to just sit there, and you could like actually move around and kind of stare over people's shoulders, I guess, if you wanted to,
Yeah.
see what's going on. Um, yeah, so we're really excited to be there next weekend. We sure thank you for your support and allowing us to host our event there. Um, we hope everybody out there has an opportunity to maybe stop by. Again, we're at Concordia University next weekend. That's in Seward, Nebraska, not very far away from most people. Um, both days, Friday and Saturday. There's no admission. Come support the kids, cheer on your own kids. Yeah, we just hope to see a lot of people there. Coach Hinds, thank you so much for your time and telling us a little bit about your program.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me. And I'm excited to have everyone here next weekend.
yeah, so hopefully we'll see some of you there. And until next time.